And then after this, we'll look at the
What's
Mad
up, guys?
Susan
Staysafe
video.
here. So you might
Twitter
have
games.
noticed that starting about 2 months ago when Blackwing Lair came out and launched in Classic WoW, around 2 months ago, login queues came back to Classic WoW at least a couple nights a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Saturday also. And now, with everyone being locked indoors and forced to stay inside, not a good situation. And with also Phase 4 being on the horizon as well, Grub and World Dragons, login queues are astronomically high, reaching 4 or 5 hours a night, every night of the week on some servers. I think most servers right now probably have login queues to some extent.
Wait a second. Do all of the servers have login queues, or do they? Is it just like the high pop servers? It's because I thought it was just like probably like Herod and like Farolina and Whitemane. Yeah, maybe. Most of them, Farolina had 3+ hours last night. That's insane, dude. Yeah, I thought that many of them didn't. Peggle has a queue for 10 minutes, though? That's not a big deal.
Today, I've been sitting in this queue for maybe 2 hours already.
Okay.
This is like a 4-hour queue on a Saturday evening on Farolina, at least. That's my server, and this isn't even the worst server as far as login queues go.
Oh my god.
Now, I mentioned login queues because there is a very large contributing factor exacerbating this issue, and I'm not saying it's the sole and only cause of the login issues. There's obviously, we're talking about the pandemic and lockdown and stuff like this, Phase 4 hype. There's a lot of things contributing, but this is definitely one big issue that I think right now is the right time to talk about. And it's, like I said, it's not the only issue, but it's making things worse, and it is definitely a contributing factor. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about multi-boxing. I think that everyone that plays Classic WoW has encountered multi-boxers at some point to some degree. They're becoming very, very prevalent, meaning that the number of multi-boxers and multi-boxed characters is increasing every single day. You see them literally all over the goddamn place.
So they're like, I don't know if it's just
Farolina. I imagine it's not the case. I think they're on every server, very, very popular. And this is such a foreseeable, glaring problem and issue for vanilla WoW gameplay as a whole that even on private servers, despite all of the things that they got wrong and all of the sketchy behavior on private servers, even private servers said, no, listen, we're not going to allow this. At most, you can have one character running around actually doing things. This means farming gold or leveling or running to a dungeon, whatever. Then you can have one bank character sitting in a capital city, maybe doing auctions or managing your bank or taking care of the mailbox. That's it. Just 2 characters.
You know what the difference is between the private servers and the Blizzard? Because Blizzard gets $15 for every account that's logged on.
One in the world and one in the capital city. This means you can't have 20 shamans on follow running around one-shotting people, or 40 shamans, or 5 priests and 15 mages, or whatever the wombo combo is. So I think most people would agree that running around one-shotting players with 20 multi-box shamans is lame and just sort of bad for the general feel of the game. But whatever, it's tolerable.
Okay.
But now it's at a point that login queues are so high that players are, people that are multi-boxing several characters are actually preventing other players from logging in and just, casually playing the game and enjoying themselves.
It's a good point.
So you might be asking yourself why Blizzard allows multi-boxers in the first place, despite the various obvious in-game downsides and I don't want to say semi pay-to-win aspect of multi-boxing, what with world PvP and one-shotting people and whatever.
Who could ever
really,
guess?
I think it gets more into the pay-to-win field with multi-boxing when you start talking about, like, for example, strat live farming. Seriously, log into your server if you can, if there's not a login queue, and just around the clock do /who strat 60, and you'll find tons of ungilded groups consisting of 4 mages and 1 priest.
What?
The ratio is always almost exactly that. If you look at the ungilded mages and ungilded priests, the ratio is always 4-to-1. They're in 5-man groups, and they are multi-box AoE farming strat live for insane gold per hour. It's actually crazy gold per hour.
What the fuck?
This is happening on every single server around the clock.
I didn't know that at all.
Willie, the YouTuber, who made a video. I think it was him. Sorry if it's not him. I think it was him that made a video talking about this.
I watched
it. Shining light on this. It's astounding, actually. It's happening on like an industrial scale on every single server, and it's allowed because of multi-boxing. Anyway, so why does Blizzard allow multi-boxers? It's absurd. Why does Blizzard allow them? Because Blizzard knows that multi-boxers are going to pay for it. That's literally it. That's why. Blizzard is just letting these multi-boxers bleed money to pay for their subscriptions each month for all their multi-box characters.
Let's go ahead and actually talk about this realistically. how much money is Blizzard really making from multi-boxers? I mean, you have one person that's got 40 accounts. Yeah, you're getting, 40 times 15 from that person. They're making a good amount of money from that person. But if that person with 40 accounts is diminishing the experience of 200, 300, 400, 500 other accounts, is that really worth the money? So I actually don't, I know we meme around about it, but I don't think that money is the only reason that Blizzard allows multi-boxing. For Blizzard, yes. Metrics count, that's the problem. They farm gold and buy WoW tokens. I don't know, man. I feel like multi-boxers, in the grand scheme of things, are very small. Like on Faralina, I can probably name... Well, what Staysafe is saying actually contradicts what I'm saying, though. And the Wooly video might contradict what I'm saying, because he's saying there's a lot of them in instances, too. Because I'm only talking about the... the people that are trying to gank at raid entrances. But what he's saying is that there's a lot more of them that are just doing raids that I don't ever see. And if that's the case, then maybe you could actually have a pretty strong argument that they are actually clogging up the servers.
Characters, despite the very, very negative downsides that it has on the game, on the in-game economy, in-game whatever.
Yeah.
But stay safe. I'm a multi-box and I log into retail WoW to farm gold so I can pay for my WoW tokens, so I can pay for my multi-box character game time.
That does sound hilarious.
Yeah, you can do that. It's possible, but no, you don't. If you're a multi-box and you're listening, you don't do that. Everyone knows you don't do that. And if you actually are, you're in the extreme minority of multi-boxers, and it doesn't excuse it. It's still super detrimental to Classic WoW having multi-boxers running around owning everyone. Yeah, and by the way, yeah, I know you can deal with you can throw a grenade at him. Yeah, I know. It's. I'm not saying it's impossible to deal with multi-boxers.
Just by the tone of his voice, Staysafe's raid got wiped by multi-boxers within probably a 2-hour window of making this video. Just right there, the way he fucking said it, he's like, nope, that's it. And I get it. Bro, I get it. Because the same shit happened to me. We have multi-boxers because, that's what they all want to do. That's the big fish. Oh my god. This week, we want to gank fucking Tim and Asmongold. This is Olympus. Oh my god. And it's annoying as fuck, but, they're gonna do it. Oh my god, kill the streamer? Well, why do they want to kill the streamer? I'll tell you why they want to kill the streamer. Because they're streamers.
Does that make it less detrimental? No, multi-boxing is bad for this game. We're talking about World PvP. We're talking about gold farming.
I want to pause again. And actually and ask you guys that question. Do you think that multi-boxing is bad for the game? Is bad for Classic? Regardless of if it's fair or not or anything, do you think that it is bad for the game? I would say that we're looking at about 70% yeses. Do you think that... I want to add a little bit of nuance onto it, okay? So, now, new question. Do you think that multi-boxing over 10 characters at a time is bad for the game? Because in my mind... multi-box, a 5... Okay, everybody's saying yes now. So, I guess in a lot of you guys' opinions, probably it's a matter of degree, which I agree with. I think that if you're multi-boxing 3 or 5 characters, that's one thing. But if you're multi-boxing 20 characters and intentionally trying to AoE down raids and stuff like that, that's just some fucking pussy-ass bitch shit to do. It is. Regardless of if it's fair or whatever, it might be funny for you, but I get it. Yeah, it probably is funny. But at the same time, it's really fucking annoying for everybody else. And so, does Blizzard want to create a situation where all of these players are getting annoyed? You see what I'm saying? I think there's a conversation to be had.
No two ways about it. In a perfect world,
so multi-box would not be allowed. I thought about it, actually.
Anyway, listen, here's the deal. With the login queue thing, back to login queues. For every guy that multi-boxes 5 characters, that's 4 login slots, whatever you want to call it, that are taken from another just average normal player that's sitting at their PC with nothing to do, just wanting to log in and have a humble gamer adventure in Classic WoW. And I use the example of 5 multi-boxed characters because that's probably the most common, like what you see just people doing.
Yeah, besides the degenerates.
Characters. You see, you know, like I said, 4 mages, 1 priest, or 5 shamans, or whatever. But, excuse me,
I've seen prepared, and then I saw another guy. His name was No Hit Jerome. Twitch needs to ban him for false advertising. There's no way that guy hasn't taken at least a few hits of everything.
There are tons of people, seriously, there are tons of people multi-boxing 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 characters all at once. I see them literally every day. I see them every day.
You guys like that?
And if you haven't seen multi-boxers, maybe you need to leave the capital city. They're in the capital city too. I can't imagine anyone has not seen multi-boxers. Maybe if you play on the smallest, least popular server in the entire world of Classic WoW, then you might not have seen them, but dude, they're everywhere. And you have to imagine that, you know, on Fairlina at least, there are so the queue, I've been sitting in this queue for a couple hours already. There's 1,500 people. You're looking at it right now. 111 minutes
left. Doesn't a world boss spawn today?
Okay, I got to wait for 1,500 people to log out so I can log in.
I hope it does.
Genuinely?
That'd be fun to watch.
I'm being sincere. There are several hundred multi-boxed characters on Fairlina right now.
Really?
So imagine that if multi-boxing was just poof, it was gone. If Blizzard just said, hey, multi-boxers, gone, not allowed. You know, the queue, I'm not saying it would get rid of the queue, but the queue might be 1,100 or maybe 1,000. There are, sincerely, and I know this because I play, I play Classic WoW all day, every day. I'm a complete no-life. There are, sincerely, several hundred multi-box characters running around. I don't want to say 1,000, I'm not going to say but there are several hundred multi-box characters in the world running around doing stuff.
Okay.
I'm not even being hyperbolic. And by the way, I just want to clarify, this isn't a personal attack at any individual that has been multi-boxing. It has always been allowed. Blizzard has always allowed multi-boxing, even in 2004, in Classic WoW, in Vanilla WoW, TBC, Wrath. It's always been allowed. Blizzard has never said it's...
I think one of the reasons why you see more people multi-boxing in Classic versus retail, BFA, even though it's harder to get to 60, is because you don't have to buy the game. You don't have to buy an expansion in order to multi-box in Classic. All you have to do is buy a sub. So, like, there's a lower barrier to entry in terms of money. Lower investment required.
It's against the rules. So I'm not throwing any shade at people that are multi-boxing. It's always been allowed, and they're not breaking any rules.
No,
I'm not mad at the multi-boxers genuinely. I just think it's a stupid rule that Blizzard should change. I'm requesting that Blizzard do something about this, not the multi-boxers themselves. I'm not saying multi-boxers, you should feel bad. You should stop multi-boxing, because they're playing perfectly within the confines of the game, of the rules within the game. Okay, it's not their fault. I'm just saying Blizzard should look at this and say, this situation is out of hand. It's absurd. We're going to do something about this. And there's a couple of different options, but I think Blizzard has to get a hold of the situation because it's damaging and ridiculous. Seriously, at least during the stay-at-home order, however long this lasts, couple weeks, couple months, maybe consider at least limiting account logins to 2 or 3 accounts logged in at once per IP.
Can you imagine if they did
I'm not even going to say only 1 account. That's my dream situation. 1 account per IP. Knock it down to 2 or 3 per IP. 2, 3 accounts per IP. It might not seem like a lot, but it would definitely help just get people into the game and actually play rather than sitting in a queue for hours while knowing that some guy is currently logged into World of Warcraft on 20 shamans waiting in Blackrock Mountain waiting to one-shot people, listening to Disturbed in his mom's basement, okay? Like, it...
Pretty accurate.
Do you see my point? It just kind of feels bad sitting in a queue.
Yeah, people can use VPNs. That's true. I mean, obviously, there's always going to be a get around for things like that. But I mean, the thing is that it's the same as like the Twitch thing. Like, yeah, if you get banned in a channel, you can always make a VPN and talk in a channel again. But the rules, they're not making these changes and making the rules for 5 heads. They're making them for 3 heads. And there's a lot more 3 heads than 5 heads. So most people aren't going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do this instead. They're just going to be like, oh, okay, I guess I can't multi-box anymore. I mean, maybe because there's so much of an investment into getting into multi-boxing versus making an account on Twitch, maybe you'd see like a higher amount of people doing that, and maybe Staysafe's implementation of the throttling mechanism wouldn't work. But the idea of a throttling mechanism, I think that Blizzard should maybe consider. I don't know. Let's talk about that after the video.
For several hours, knowing that some guy is currently logged in with 30 accounts.
Yeah.
right? Just taking up space. Now, I'm really curious what you guys know about I'm curious what you guys think about this multi-boxer issue in Classic WoW. Is it an issue? Is it not an issue? Do you guys even care at all? I've always been, I'm going to be totally honest, I've always been very hesitant to ever comment on the multi-boxer issue because I haven't wanted to sound, frankly, like a whiny little bitch that just got killed by a multi-boxer and I'm going to go complain about it. But at this point, I know that normal people are having a hard time logging in due to the insane login queues that everyone's experienced right now on every server. So I figure if there's ever a time to complain about multi-boxing, it's probably now, when the big issue is not that they're one-shotting people or whatever, or farming gold or whatever. The issue is like, people just need to be able to log into the game, you know? And bring this to myself. Okay, I have unlimited free time. I play WoW full time, okay?
It's his job.
If I have to sit in a queue for 2 hours, it's not the end of the world. I'm really not that angry about it, but tons of people have...
I'm seeing if there's a queue on Fairlane.
A lot of your guys' free time is worth more than mine, okay? I have a lot of free time.
Oh my god.
So there are people...
Oh my god. Just give me a second. Let me open up this game capture so you guys can see it. You ready? Give it a second. God, what the fuck is this? I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna take a piss. Give me a minute. Where is it?
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Come to talk with you again.
I did fall on purpose, but it might not be for the reason that you might think. I did not fall for comedic effect. I fell because this thing here got stuck in between my toes. And I value the safety and well-being of my headphones more than my own body. So I knew that while I was in that step, if I fell down, I wouldn't have pulled the headphones off of the desk. That's why I fell down, is so it wouldn't pull the headphones off.
That can only play WoW for 3 or 4 hours a day, whatever. They have a job, they have a family, and they're getting cock blocked. They can't log in.
Wash hands.
So I'm not saying multi-boxing is the only issue that's contributing to login queues, but it would definitely help. Blizzard, take a look at it. That's all I'm asking. Okay, and like I said, it doesn't have to be end all be all. Okay, maybe you have a fix only for a couple months during lockdown when everyone's stuck at home, they're trying to play, and maybe you don't get rid of multi-boxing entirely. Maybe you just limit it to 2 or 3 accounts per IP, or maybe even 5. Try 5. Okay, so you might take a look and say, all right, you know, if we stopped multi-box logins over 5 accounts, so we're stopping people that are playing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 characters at one time, we would actually get rid of several hundred people. Okay, Blizzard has the stats, so Blizzard can look and say, all right, if we did that, we'd get rid of several hundred players logged in on the servers, which would open up a lot of slots for normal players. If we just locked it down to 5 accounts per IP. I mean, Blizzard has the stats for this. I don't. All I'm saying is, take a look at it. I think it's an issue. It's obviously not an ideal situation. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this. Drop a comment below. Like the video if you liked it. If you disliked it, dislike it. But you should all like the video. Thank you. Guys, thanks for watching. Let me know. I'm actually very sincerely curious what you guys think about this. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay safe.
Okay. So, real statistics, did you make them up? Well, what he's saying is you can... All right, so... Did he make up the statistics that he was talking about? It depends on what you mean by make up and like how far away from making them up is the reality, right? So let's say he made up the statistic of 700, but it's only 550. Well, then that's still a lot. What do you guys think about multi-boxing? He didn't claim they were accurate. Yeah, it's just like he's just giving ballpark numbers. Next video. Okay. It's an hour video, so we're just going to watch probably a couple of minutes of it, okay? Okay, all right, let's just go to the next one, okay? I know people don't care. I think people care about the e-girl thing more than multi-boxing, all right? I do want to say, I want to give my opinion on this real quick, though. If Blizzard doesn't do anything, I'll understand. If they do something, I'll understand. It's a weird situation that there's no right answer for. Because someone gets fucked no matter what. But I do think a conversation should be had whenever players are actively diminishing the other experience of other people. Especially whenever that diminishment comes from, like, physically not allowing them to log on. That's what I'm going to say.